Hello everybody, it's Miss Dewhirst. I hope you're all doing really well wherever you are right now. And I thought since lots of us are spending some time at home, it might be nice to read a story about spending time at home. So here I've got Paddington Mimes the Home. Let's see what happens, shall we? Okay. Ooh. One morning, Miss Brown and Miss Bird went out for the day and left Paddington to look after the house. "I shall wash up all the breakfast things while you're gone," he said, "and then, if I have any time left over, I may do some spring cleaning." "Oh dear," said Mrs. Brown, "I don't like the sound of that." As soon as the others had gone, Paddington set to work. He washed all the breakfast cups and saucers and plates and put them in a rack to dry. Then he did the dusting, and after that he washed the dusters and the towels and hung them up to dry. Oh, look, he's very busy at work, isn't he? Let's see what happens next. When he had finished hanging up the dusters and towels, he started making a special chocolate cake as a surprise for Mrs. Brown and Mrs. Bird when they got back. Paddington liked cooking, and he was soon busy mixing flour and cocoa and sugar and milk together in a large bowl. Ooh, that looks very messy, doesn't it? It wasn't until he put his paw in the mixture to make sure it tasted as it should that he saw he had made a mess with the flour and the cocoa. Worse still, the floor felt crunchy under his feet where he had spilt some sugar. So he got the vacuum cleaner out. That was when his troubles started. Oh no, I wonder what's going to happen with the vacuum cleaner. In his haste to tidy the kitchen, he put the hose on the wrong end of the cleaner by mistake. And instead of sucking, it blew! Psh! Oh my goodness! Paddington staggered back as all the old dust came out and rose into the air like a big black cloud. Oh my goodness, that's not good. It landed everywhere. On the clean cups and saucers and plates, over the dusters and towels he had hung up to dry, over the table and chairs and floor. It even landed on his cake mix. Paddington decided it was a good thing he was making a chocolate cake. At least it wouldn't show the dirt. Oh no! Paddington started to work all over again. He washed the breakfast things, then he washed the dusters and towels and hung them up to dry. And because the dusters were now wet, he thought he would use the vacuum cleaner to get rid of the dust. This time, he made sure the tube was on the right end. Well, that's good. Let's hope he doesn't make a mistake like last time. Using the vacuum cleaner was much more fun, and Paddington spent some time trying to write his name in the dust at the top of the table. Can you see him writing his name? It wasn't until he got as far as the letter D that he noticed the mixing bowl was now empty. He stared at the end of the hose, wondering what to do next. What's he done in the mixing bowl there? What's happened? He's vacuumed up all of the cake mix. Paddington wasn't the sort of bear to be beaten, and looking at the end of the hose pipe gave him an idea. What had happened once could happen again. He put the hose back on the wrong end of the cleaner, and then he stood back, waiting to see if the cake mix would get blown out. For a second or two, nothing came out, and he was about to poke a spoon down inside to see if it would help, when there was a loud, rushing noise. One moment the kitchen was as clean and shiny as a new pin. What do you think's going to happen next? Is it going to get messy? Let's find out. The next moment, it looked as if it had been raining chocolate. Paddington gazed unhappily around the room. It was in a worse state than before. In fact, he couldn't remember ever having seen such a mess. Oh my goodness, what a messy kitchen. He gave a deep sigh for the third time that day, set to work. He washed the breakfast things, and then he washed the dusters and the towels and hung them up to dry. Then he scrubbed up the floor and washed the walls and polished the table and chairs until it all looked as good as new. In fact, he cleaned everything except himself. But by then it was too late, for there was a ring at the doorbell. I wonder who it could be. "Paddington!" cried Mrs. Brown. "What have you been up to? Are you all right? You're covered in spots." "Brown ones," said Mrs. Bird. Paddington looked at himself in the hall mirror and saw for the first time what a mess he was in. "I think I must have had a bad attack of spring cleaning fever, Mrs. Bird," he said. Oh dear, he is very messy. Mrs. Bird hurried into the kitchen, but she had to admit she had never seen it looking quite so clean. And she wondered why Paddington had spots on his duffel coat, as well as on his whiskers. She didn't say anything. "I think," she said, "you had better go upstairs and have a nice hot bath." Paddington thought that was a very good idea. He felt tired after all his hard work. Afterwards, when he was safely tucked up in bed, Mrs. Brown brought him supper on a tray. "You're looking better already," she said. "The rest must be doing you good. If it isn't so much spring cleaning that brings you out in spots, Mrs. Brown," said Paddington. "It's all the cleaning up you have to do afterwards." And look, there he is, enjoying some food in bed. Well, I hope you all liked that story, and I hope you're all doing really, really well. I'll see you next time. Goodbye, everyone.